What would your life look like if fear no longer had a voice? Not silenced for a moment, not managed, tamed, or negotiated with, but erased, gone, dead. Imagine waking up every single day without hesitation, without second-guessing yourself, without that internal voice whispering, "You're not ready, you're not worthy, you're not enough." Now pause. Because the version of you who lives that life, they're not a fantasy. They're not a someday. They are real, and they are waiting for you to decide. So if you're ready to kill fear once and for all, subscribe, sit back, breathe deep, and keep listening. Because today, fear dies. Fear is not the enemy. It's instinct. Ancient. Wired deep into your DNA to keep you alive. In that sense, fear has done its job well. It's helped the human race survive. But here's where it gets dangerous. Fear was never meant to lead you. It was never meant to become your decision maker, your compass, your voice of reason. Yet most people hand it the keys to their lives like it's earned that right. Think of it like this. Fear is supposed to be the smoke alarm, not the architect of the building. It's there to signal danger, not design your destiny. And yet, here we are. People staying in jobs that drain them, relationships that cage them, cities that bury their potential, all because fear whispered, "Stay," and they obeyed. Analogical. Imagine your life is a car. Fear is like the cautious passenger grabbing the handle every time you go above 40. Useful in a storm, but devastating if you let them drive. Because if you do, you'll spend your life circling the block, never parking at your dream, never accelerating into your calling. The real enemy, inaction. It's not fear that's killing your dreams. It's the pause you take because of it. It's the moment you hesitate instead of move. It's that tiny breath of doubt that becomes a lifetime of delay. The dream isn't dying from fear. It's suffocating in silence. Most people sit around waiting for fear to vanish, for confidence to show up, for courage to suddenly strike. But courage? Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. If you're waiting to feel ready, you're not preparing. You're procrastinating. Reframing reality, emotional tone increases. Look, the legends you admire, the disruptors, the creators, the pioneers, they feel fear too. But they learned something you haven't. Yet. You don't need to be fearless to take action. You just need to stop giving fear authority it never earned. Fear can be a passenger, but it never gets to touch the wheel again. The shift. Rewiring your mind. Here's where transformation begins. Every time you act while afraid, you teach your brain something new. That fear doesn't mean stop. It means this matters. Repetition rewires reality. The first time you do something scary, your mind screams. The 10th time, it whispers. The 100th time, it's silent. That's the truth of training. Fear doesn't fade with time. It fades with exposure. Fear is a storyteller and a liar. Fear doesn't just talk, it narrates. It creates entire movies in your mind, full of worst-case scenarios. You don't just imagine a failed presentation. You see yourself humiliated, rejected, abandoned. You don't just fear launching the business. You visualize bankruptcy, betrayal, and I told you so. And the scary part? Because fear sounds like your own voice, you believe it. It feels familiar. And anything that feels familiar feels true. But familiar isn't fact. Fear is just a script, a story. One you've been rehearsing far too long. And guess what? You can rewrite it. Visualize victory, not defeat. If you can imagine falling, you can also imagine flying. If your mind can build disaster, it can also build domination. The brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So use that power. Start telling a better story. A story where you speak and are heard, where you try and you thrive, where you fall and rise stronger. Power shift. Speak to the listener's spirit. This is your battlefield. Not out there, but in here. The moment you stop accepting fear's script and start rewriting your own, you take back control. You don't need to feel brave to act brave. You don't need to feel ready to move forward. You just need to stop giving fear the microphone. The voice in your head is powerful, but it does not always tell the truth. And the biggest lie it tells is this: fear is your limit. But it's not. Fear is your signal. It's the flag waving at the border of your comfort zone, screaming. You're getting close to your breakthrough. How to stop fear from leading your life. Narrator voice, confident, warm, focused. Fear grows in silence, in hesitation, in the shadows of avoidance. The more you run from it, the more it chases. The more you analyze it, the more it multiplies. Because fear doesn't shrink with time. It shrinks with exposure. This is where most people get it backwards. They wait. They wait for courage to magically show up before they make the move. They wait to feel fearless before they take the leap. But courage never shows up first. It's not the signal, it's the result. The ice pool analogy. Think of fear like standing at the edge of a freezing pool. You can dip a toe in, walk away, come back tomorrow, pace, overthink, doubt, or you can jump, shock your system, feel everything scream, and then you adapt. In a few seconds, it's no longer scary. Why? Because your body experienced what your mind had exaggerated. That's the power of exposure. That's how fear dies. Say this to yourself. When fear speaks, the next time fear rises in your chest, don't freeze, don't explain, don't negotiate. Move. Because fear hates momentum. And the moment you take that first step, even with trembling hands, even with a shaking voice, the fear begins to fade. Fear lies every time. Let's be honest. Fear is a master storyteller, but it's also a terrible truth teller. It says, you're not ready. You'll fail. They'll laugh. You don't have what it takes. And because it sounds like you believe it. You accept it like it's truth, never realizing it's just a script. One you didn't write. One you can burn. Here's the breakthrough. If fear is built through repetition, then so is confidence. If fear is a story, then you can tell a better one. Reprogram the narrative. You don't have to imagine failure. You can rehearse victory. You don't have to anticipate rejection. You can visualize resilience. Because the mind doesn't know the difference between real experience and imagined experience. If you've practiced panic, you can practice power. If you've rehearsed breakdowns, you can rehearse breakthroughs. This is the battle, and you're in it now. The battle isn't out there. It's in here, inside your thoughts, your choices, your breath when it tightens, your hands when they shake. And the moment you stop letting fear hand you the script, you stop being a prisoner. You start being a warrior. You stop waiting to be brave and start becoming brave, one decision at a time. Train your mind like a muscle. Here's the deal. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And that means you have the power to decide which ones get to stay. When fear whispers, "You're not good enough," you don't accept it. You respond. You say, "Says who?" When it says, "You'll fail," you say, "Maybe, but I'll learn." When it says, "Don't try," you say, "Watch me." Because every thought is a seed, and what you water grows. If you water fear, you'll harvest hesitation. But if you water courage, if you flood your mind with focused, disciplined, empowering thoughts, boldness becomes your baseline. It's not positivity, it's mental conditioning. This isn't feel-good fluff. This is mental training. Athletes train their bodies. Musicians train their fingers. Warriors train their reflexes. You must train your mind. With what? Affirmations that declare your worth. Visualizations that sharpen your aim. Actions that tell your brain, "This is who we are now." Say it out loud. I am calm under pressure. I act despite fear. I do hard things. Say it until your cells believe it. Then prove it. Your subconscious mind is always listening, not just to your thoughts, but to your actions. And when you move in boldness, when you walk into the discomfort again and again, your brain learns, we do this now. Closing this section, elevating the stakes. You're not weak because you feel fear. But if you let it lead, you'll stay weak. Discipline your inner world, and the outer world will follow. Guard your thoughts like your life depends on it, because it does. Interrupt the lies. Install the truth. Fear might visit, but it doesn't get to stay unless you let it in. Calm and steady, then rising with energy. What if fear was never meant to be a stop sign? What if it wasn't there to say, "Don't go," but to whisper, "This is the way"? Most people mistake fear for danger. They hear the pulse racing, the breath shortening, the nerves trembling, and they take that as a sign to turn around. But let me tell you something that could change your life. Fear is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Fear is a compass. That fire you feel in your chest when you're about to speak. That flutter in your stomach when you imagine starting the business, walking away from the safe job, telling the truth you've held back for years. That's not weakness. That's not a warning, that's alignment. It's your spirit recognizing you've arrived at a threshold, the edge of your comfort zone. And do you know what lies just beyond that edge? Everything you want. The locked door. Fear is like a door with a danger sign on it. But what's behind that door is your next level. And the only way to open it is not with a key, but with action. Not perfect action, not fearless action. Just movement. Even if your hands are shaking, even if your voice is trembling. That step, that's what turns fear from a prison into a path. Fear will always be there, so walk with it. Here's what no one tells you. The fear never fully disappears. Not for the brave, not for the bold, not for the ones who stand on the biggest stages. It's still there. The difference? They've made peace with it. They've learned to walk with it, like an old, tired ghost in the corner. Always there, but never in control again. Because they've done the work. Discipline destroys fear. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. You will not kill fear by waiting to feel brave. You do not overcome fear with motivation alone. You overcome fear with discipline. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the flame that never goes out. Discipline is what shows up after motivation has left the room. Discipline is what acts even when fear screams louder than ever. Power analogy, the warrior's blade. Discipline is the blade the warrior sharpens daily. It's not shiny, it's not flashy, but it's reliable. And when fear strikes, it is discipline that slices through the noise and says, "We act now. We move anyway." This is how legends are made. Not because they feel nothing, but because they trained themselves to do the thing anyway. Rewire through repetition. Every time you take action in the presence of fear, you rewire your brain. You're telling it a new story. Fear is not danger. Fear is data. Fear is fuel. You're teaching your nervous system. We don't run, we respond. We don't hesitate, we move. This is where identity is forged. Key reflection. So ask yourself this: are you living by feeling, or are you living by principle? Because if fear is still calling the shots, it's time for a shift. Not a shift in your emotions, a shift in your rituals. Because when you change your rituals, you change your identity. And identity? That's what changes your life. Daily rituals that kill fear before it grows. Let's get practical. If fear thrives in hesitation, then your life must become a training ground where hesitation dies early. Here's how you do that. 1. Do something uncomfortable every morning. Not dangerous, just uncomfortable, cold shower. Early wake-up, honest conversation. Finishing what you've been avoiding. Why? Because the nervous system must be trained. Fear loses grip when your body learns. We can survive discomfort. 2. Move your body. Stagnation is fear's playground. Movement is its executioner. Run, walk, lift, stretch. Get blood flowing. Because when your body is in motion, your brain follows. You build confidence through physical movement. You send a message. I am not frozen. I am in control. 3. Speak power into your mind. You must not just think differently, you must speak differently. Affirmations aren't fluff, they're ammunition. Say it out loud every day. I face fear and move anyway. I am not here to shrink, I am here to rise. Discomfort is my classroom. Growth is my reward. Your subconscious is always listening. Feed it power, or it will feed you fear. 4th, win the first battle of the day. Make your bed, drink water. Finish that one task you've avoided. Stack small wins. Why? Because wins create momentum, and momentum crushes hesitation. One win leads to the next, and soon, the impossible feels inevitable. 5. Reflect every night. Ask yourself, where did fear whisper today? And where did I push back? This is how you refine. This is how you sharpen your edge. The fearless aren't born, they're built through daily, consistent, ruthless self-respect. Slow, reflective, deep impact. Picture this. You're lying on your deathbed. Breath shallow, clock ticking. The noise of the world faded. It's just you now. But you're not alone. Around your bed are the ghosts of the dreams you didn't chase, the risks you never took, the versions of you that could have existed. They don't scream, they don't beg, they just stare, and they ask one question that cuts through your soul. Why did you let fear decide for you? Fear doesn't just steal the moment, it steals your life. You see, fear doesn't always show up loud. It doesn't always shout danger. Sometimes it whispers, not now. Wait a little longer. Just stay safe. And if you listen, it doesn't just steal a day. It steals your legacy. Power metaphor, the silent thief. Fear is like a quiet thief. It doesn't break in and smash windows. It slowly, silently walks out with your life in small pieces. A conversation you never had, a love you never pursued, a dream you buried under someday, and someday becomes never. What if you knew the cost? What if you could see right now what fear is stealing from you? Not in theory, but in vivid, high-definition clarity. The book you never wrote, the company you never built, the movement you never started, the self-respect you never felt. Most people don't choose fear because they're cowards. They choose fear because they don't see the cost. No statues for the silent. Let me be blunt. No one builds statues for the person who played it safe. No one remembers the voice that stayed quiet. History doesn't reward the ones who obeyed fear. It celebrates the ones who were scared and acted anyway. Because greatness isn't measured in comfort. It's forged in discomfort. Legacy demands discomfort. You want to build a life that means something? Then get ready to sweat. Legacy requires pain, sacrifice, rejection, risk. It demands that you choose what matters more, the opinions of others, or the opinion you'll have of yourself when your time is up. You will not remember every moment of safety, but you will never forget the moments you chose courage. Ask yourself right now, what will your life say when you're gone? Will it whisper regret, or will it roar with power? Will it echo with missed chances? Or will it echo with the sound of footsteps that moved anyway? Because here's the brutal truth. Your story is being written right now, with or without your permission, and the pen is either held by fear or by you. The truth about fear: it's a liar, but so are your habits. If fear is a liar, then your routine is your truth teller. And it's not one big heroic leap that changes everything. It's the daily habits that kill fear long before it can speak. The ones that train your body, your breath, your voice, your mind. Fear dies in the presence of discipline. And discipline, that's not sexy. It's not flashy. It's showing up when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one's watching. The blueprint: becoming fearless in action. Start here, right now. 1. Train your body for discomfort. You want to kill fear? Get uncomfortable. Start cold. Start shaky. But start. Whether it's a cold shower or hitting publish, train your nerves. 2. Move daily. Walk, lift, dance, breathe. Motion equals courage. Stillness is fear's oxygen. 3. Speak identity over yourself. Say it every day. I don't shrink. I lead. I act in spite of fear. 4. Win early. Make the bed. Do the hard task first. Stack tiny victories. 5. Reflect nightly. Ask, where did fear show up? Then ask, where did I push back? That's how you sculpt the warrior. Pulling it all in. You don't become fearless by talking about fear. You kill it by moving through it. Again and again and again, until it realizes it no longer controls you. You break its grip with breath, movement, truth, repetition, and fire. Every day you act while afraid, you rise. And one day, without even noticing, you'll realize fear still knocks, but it doesn't get to come in anymore. Calm, grounded, then intensifying with power. This is it. No more waiting. No more rehearsing. No more buying tickets to the same mental movie fear plays on repeat. Today, we lay fear to rest. And we don't do it with a scream. We do it with a whisper that becomes a war cry. I'm done giving fear a voice in my story. Because here's the truth. Fear dies when you stop feeding it. When you stop bowing to it. When you stop letting it make decisions for the life you were born to live. You were not born to live small. You were not made to tiptoe around potential. You were not put on this planet to play it safe. You were built to walk through fire and come out forged, not fragile, but you forgot that. Fear made you forget. It dressed up as logic. It pretended to protect you. It told you that staying still was smart. But staying still kills you slowly. And now you're waking up. This is the moment, the real one. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, this is the moment where you silence the doubt. Take the first step, and then another, and then another, until fear is just a memory of who you used to be. The trained warrior. And when fear shows its face again, as it always will, you won't panic. You'll smile. Because now you know the game. You've studied it. You've walked with it. You've outlasted it. And you've trained your mind and body to walk forward anyway. Fear doesn't get a vote in your future anymore. Only your vision does. Only your mission does. Only the truth of who you really are. Say this out loud, right now. Say it like you mean it. Thank you, fear, for the lessons, for the warnings, for the growth. But now, I'm done letting you decide who I become. You are not the scared version of yourself anymore. You are the architect of your future, the owner of your mind, the leader of your life. And fear? Fear is just a ghost with no grip left on you. Let this be the line you cross. From this day forward, you don't wait to feel brave. You act and let bravery catch up. You don't shrink when discomfort comes. You rise. You don't overthink. You move. And you move fast. Because when fear knocks, speed kills it. When doubt whispers, truth drowns it. And when hesitation lingers, discipline ends the conversation. This is how you build a life that commands respect, not from others first, but from yourself. The future is waiting, but it won't wait forever. Out there, your highest self is waiting. They're strong, decisive, unapologetic, clear, and they're tired of waiting for you to meet them. So move. Now, even with shaking legs, even with trembling breath, because if you do this today, you will never be the same again. Strong and grounded. This is the end of fear and the beginning of you. So subscribe, follow this journey, because this was just chapter 1. The next step, we go deeper into confidence, purpose, and personal power. Not in theory, in daily practice. You've slain the fear. Now we build the warrior. And when that's done, we teach others how to do it too. Because the world doesn't just need less fear, it needs more fearless people. And today, that person is you. Final words in quiet power. Let fear rest. Let doubt go. Let the past stay where it is. Because your future, it just took its first breath. And it sounds like this. I'm not afraid anymore. You are fearless because you chose to be. Your time is now. Welcome to the life that fear couldn't hold.